Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frightmare HQ. I am Lloyd Cryer, and I'm here today with the amazingly beautiful Charles Doze.
I'm so beautiful. Look at me. This
You're
camera.
gorgeous,
This
Charles.
light.
You got a new camera, you got a new mic,
I had
looking
to.
good, sounding good.
Yeah. I'm here to dance for you. I'm here to party. I'm here to see Arrow Video.
I am excited about Arrow Video. They have a lot of cool stuff that they're going to talk about. It's all in the description underneath wherever you're watching, hopefully. It should be in Facebook and what's the other one? It should be in YouTube for sure. So hopefully that's all there. Take a look, kind of get an outline of what they're going to talk about, and we'll just kind of wait for them to join us.
Yeah.
I see you in there. Let's go ahead and bring Ewan in while he's here. Welcome, Ewan.
Hey, guys.
Ewan.
Everybody, this is Ewan Cant from Arrow Video.
Good to be here. Good to see Charles that you're on brand today
I am.
for us.
I feel terrible. I looked for my Arrow shirt and I can't find it.
Oh man, I should have a spare one here that I can wing to you at some point.
Yeah.
Or you can superimpose it afterwards, maybe.
Exactly.
I'm not even branded today, so
Yeah,
Still
you're
Photoshop.
just plain you. So what
Yeah.
have you been up to, Ewan?
what I've been doing, I've been trying to keep myself busy. I've been trying to catch up with loads of viewing, as you would expect. Trying to learn a few pesky guitar solos that that have been bugging me. Trying to fill up my time.
There you
What
go.
about you guys?
Are you gonna play a guitar solo for us right now? Is that
Well,
what this is
it's
leading into?
I wasn't leading into that, but
Oh.
if you're going to force my hand at some point. I don't have my amp in here, unfortunately, at the moment, so I wouldn't quite have the same effect that I would want it to have.
He's like, I just so happen to have all of this ready to go.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have the karaoke machine ready yet, so.
Oh
Sadly.
man.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
I thought
we're
you
going to
would
save
be
that
having
for
one.
last.
What's that?
We're going to save that for last.
Okay, perfect.
We have to warm up our vocals to make sure it's
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Ewan, tell our viewers what it is that you do at Arrow. I know you do a lot, but if you can narrow it down, if that's possible.
Yeah, I'll try. I mean, essentially, I'm one of our full-time producers, and basically producing a disc means that I do everything in that it takes to put one of our releases together, from picking an artist to do the new artwork and commissioning new extras, seeing what extras there are, going to see what's already out there and seeing how we can try and put together like the most definitive edition of a movie we can.
Right.
And yeah, a few years ago I started getting more into the acquisition side of stuff, and basically just really as a way to like curate my own Blu-ray shelf, films that I always wanted to have on Blu-ray, and I was like, somehow managed to convince people at Arrow that we should pick certain films up. And yeah, just purely selfishly because I want to own those films on Blu-ray, and so I've kind of got more into the acquisition side of things over the last few years, and I think it's not really a secret to say that I'm very much kind of a big 80s slasher movie fan, and that's kind of my my forte, I guess. So that tends to be the stuff that I gravitate towards, and some of the films that I've picked up for us, have been like big, passion project slasher movie releases that I've just really wanted to get out there and to have a copy on my shelf that I do now, so.
Which is why we love you.
Well,
It takes
So,
a fan to bring us all these fun movies you've brought us, so we definitely appreciate it. Because without
Yeah.
you, we'd still be watching our old VHS copies, which of course we love, but some of them need a little.
Yeah, I've got some of the VHS there as well, and I wouldn't give them away for anything. I've got the VHS and the Blu-ray, and it's you can't chuck out those old VHS.
Hard to part with.
Exactly. Yeah. I like to think of, kind of, the new kind of cleaned up Blu-ray releases as being kind of, like a complement to the VHS that's out there. I mean, you don't want to get rid of those VHS. We all have fond memories of how we first saw these films, and there's a big nostalgic factor in seeing those old dark transfers. I think people have suggested to us before that we've included like a VHS transfer of a film as an extra, and I wouldn't be totally against that. I like the idea of kind of being able to see what you would have seen these films like normally or before.
So your colleagues are here. They're backstage.
Okay.
I'm get ready.
I'm the warm-up act, am I? I'm just the kind of the fluffer.
Oh, that's fine. So we've got. Let's go ahead and bring in. There's Louise.
Hi.
Louise. We've got James Flower.
Hey guys.
Welcome back, sir. And
thank you.
Mike Hewitt.
Hello.
Look at that. Our screen full of arrow people.
It's good to see everybody.
In a while either. So hi guys.
It's been almost 2 months now.
Hey,
we haven't seen each other 2 months.
Yeah, and we get to know each other's rooms as well, which is exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys zooming together? Doing the Zoom thing together?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Okay, so where do we want to start today? There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You guys pick. Tell me where you want to start.
Mike, fearless leader.
Well, we can talk about
No
some of the couple of releases we've got out now, or we've got coming out. I think, the one that the new film that we're really pleased at is Why Don't You Just Die, which we've just released on Blu-ray and digital. If you haven't seen this, it's phenomenal. It's one of the best debut genre films I've seen in a long, long time. It's a Russian director, Kirill Sokolov. So he's made this incredible contained film. It's all set mainly in one apartment, but think early Tarantino, Edgar Wright. It's got just a phenomenal flavor to it. Incredible soundtrack, or sort of little shades of Ennio Morricone, and great Russian pop music. It's a really, really dark comedy horror, and I really, really urge anyone to check it out. It's genius. It's also just debuted on our Arrow video channel. I don't know if you guys know about our Arrow video channel, but we've now got a subscription video on demand channel on both Apple and Amazon in the UK and the US. And Why Don't You Just Die is already on there. So there's a 30-day free trial going on at the moment. Please do go and check it out, and you can watch Why Don't You Just Die for free.
Gotcha. And that's on Arrow, and what else? I mean, on Apple, and what else?
It's on Apple TV and it's on Amazon Prime. You can find it both there. If you search on Amazon or Apple TV, you'll find it. And the director is Kirill Sokolov. He's doing a tweet-along with us on May the 8th. And I think that's 8 p.m. GMBST, which I think is going to be about 2 p.m. CST, or Texas time, as we call it.
Okay,
it's always
perfect.
Texas time.
Yeah, always Texas time. What kind of features are we going to see on this one?
So we've got a critic, Kim Newman. He's a top British critic. He's done a piece looking at Russian cinema and how that fits within the genre. We've got a few other things. The director's short films. He's going to be big. This director is going to be big. He's not even 30 years old. We were going to bring him over to the UK and the US. But sadly, this whole situation blew up, so that didn't go ahead. But it's still definitely worth checking out the film.
Anybody that gets compared to Tarantino, Edgar Wright, and Sam Raimi is right up my alley. I want to check that one out for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a short film he did called The Outcome, I believe it was called, and it was It was really good.
Nice T-shirt, by the way, Charles. Thanks.
I wore it just for you. I was thinking about you. So.
I've got the red one.
Yeah, he was rewinding the tape a minute ago, but you don't want to see that.
Yeah, it was just for me and Lloyd. I was rewinding the tape for him.
Okay, so Why Don't You Just Die? That sounds very interesting. Why don't we talk about Gamera next? Gamera. And James, you're working on that one, right?
That one has been my one of my kind of big babies. That's an unfortunate phrase, but anyway, that's been one of my kind of big projects for like the last year and a bit. So before I'd started this, I'd never seen a Gamera movie. To be honest, I was a newcomer to the whole series. But the way I know Ewan's the same. The way I like to work on these things is to really kind of do my research and do a deep dive into what this is and what the opportunities are in terms of what you can do with it, because it's a series that's had some releases before that kind of by Mill Creek that were kind of slightly cheaper releases with not so many extras and things like that. But if we're going to do an Arrow release, it's got to be, like Ewan said, it's got to be the definitive one. It's got to be the one that draws a line under everything else and like leaves no one wanting for more. So a few things kind of happened kind of soon after I started. One was that I got in touch with a artist from Texas called Matt Frank, who is well known to kaiju fans for doing artwork for Godzilla comics, and he's well known in kind of the kaiju fan community. And he was right away super enthusiastic about not only doing everything that we needed for the project, but also helping us out in terms of getting people on board and contributing content. He's even done a commentary on one of the films on the set. And I have here, we've got an exploded pack shot that we're going to show in a minute. But I'm just going to show as well, I have a physical, this is a copy of the box that I got. So this isn't the finished article. We're still in production on the disc, but we've got a copy of the actual box, which was delivered to my home, which shows you all 12 of the films that are going to be on it.
Wow.
And
that is properly large for a kaiju movie.
This is, yeah, exactly. Well, this is because Criterion came out with their Godzilla set last year, which I don't know if you guys saw that. That's even bigger than that. It's like this big book thing, and we didn't want to go quite that big, but we thought go big or go home. So this is kind of cereal box size. So for those of you who had our Herschel Gordon Lewis box set, or if you have slightly classier tastes and you have the Criterion Bergman box set, it's a similar kind of size to that.
The shade.
But it's got all kinds of, in addition to like extras, stuffed additions to the 12 films, it also comes with a 130-page comic book that's a reprint of kind of comics from Gamera comics from the mid-90s that have been out of print for years. That came out via Dark Horse Comics years ago. 80-page book of essays, and we're going to be announcing full specs in terms of what's on the discs very soon. But I don't think many fans will be disappointed in terms of what we've put together. It's been a long old slog getting everything together, but worth the wait for everyone, I think.
John Cohorn says, "Whoa," and that's
whoa.
That is the proper response.
Well, shall we help John do a double whoa? Let's see some of the other artwork that's in the set. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Hang on. So this is some of Matt's artwork that's in the disc book, which is where the discs are going to be housed in. So he's done illustrations for each of the monsters. So every time you want to get a disc out, you've got illustrations for each of the monsters. So it's
I think John just passed out.
The right response. That's what we wanted to see.
So while we're talking about that, I've been encouraging everyone to leave questions in the comment section for you guys. You guys are set in advance. You're more than willing to answer any questions anybody has. So I want to say that live here as well. Do we want to go ahead and show the premiere of the exploded tap art?
Explode
Let's
it, Lloyd.
Do it.
Blow it up, Lloyd.
We need sound effects.
Do it.
All
Sing
right,
the song, James. Go on.
Yeah, James is quite good at doing the Gamera Raw, or whatever you call it. So you could
Oh God! Once more. Ah!
You can do better than that.
Yeah, that'll do. So
Look at it.
this is the first site that some people will see of the exploded pack shot that'll go with the announcement. So you see at the top there, we have Gamera's map of Japan, where you can track all of his trail of destruction throughout the country in each of the 12 films. You've got the postcards that come with it, which have Matt's incredible artwork for the films. There's 3 books here. The one that's open is the disc book that I just showed you guys a minute ago, but there's also the comic book and the book of essays as well. So visually, it just looks incredible, and I really can't wait for people to get their hands on it and just see all the hard work that Matt's done on it over the last year. He's, like I said, he's done a commentary on the film Gamera, the Guardian of the Universe, which it's his first commentary, and he's done an amazing job on it. So it's well worth all the hard work, and it'll be worth the wait for everyone, I think.
Everybody
Absolutely.
loves the gigantic fire-breathing turtle, and I want to see this. Please, I'm ready for it.
That's impressive. Let's see. Let me take this down. I'm producing and hosting, guys. So
He's a man of many talents, that Lloyd Cryer.
So, who was the artist again, James?
A talented young man from Austin, Texas, called Matt Frank, who fans of Godzilla comics will know from his work on those, and he's just like a more knowledgeable kind of fan of the kaiju genre. We couldn't have been luckier to kind of fall into bed with on this, because his Rolodex of contacts of people to do commentaries and other things is just off the charts. And he's whenever we were stuck for who should we get to do this, he would recommend someone and they'd be perfect. So very, very happy to have worked with Matt on this, and we'll hopefully be working with him again on something else in the not too distant future. So
did he do everything, including the inner art and?
Yeah, all of it, the outer, the inner art. He's even the comic book that's in here. Like I said, there's a reprint of a Gamera comic. So this is just the inner pages that I've got of the comic book. So most of this is a reprint of a 4-issue Gamera comic that was released by Dark Horse Comics in the mid-1990s. So this is the book is mostly a reprint of that, but it also has a prequel comic that's about 15-20 pages long that explains the origin of Gamera. That's only ever been published in Japanese. It's never been published in English before. That is by Matt Frank. So I can't really show it here, but anyway, there's some of the pages of that there. But it's really cool, and I think I know Gamera fans have been waiting to read it in English for a long, long time, and that's they'll hopefully it'll be worth the wait for them.
Yeah, that hasn't had a proper release that it deserved. I know. I'm trying to remember the name of the company that released it before. I think they're in Oklahoma, but they put out some Gamera films in the past, and they just weren't up to snuff. So, kudos on that.
Who was it? It was Mill Creek did the last bunch of Blu-rays, and Shout Factory did DVDs before that. Which they did the best they could with. Someone's playing the noise.
There we go.
Well done.
Good job, Charles.
That sounds about right.
Sorry, I feel like we needed that right now.
That was exactly what I was doing. What you guys didn't, I thought I was being uncanny. Anyway, it's been a big project, much bigger than I thought it was going to be when we started, and it's grown out of all proportion, just appropriately so for a big kaiju monster. But it's it's going to be worth the wait.
Someone has a question. Does this set include black and white movies?
The answer to that question is that the first Gamera film was shot in black and white, and then all the rest were in color. So it's just the first disc of the set that has the first film in black and white. Actually, it's 2 different versions of the film. So there's the original Japanese version, and then for the first time on Blu-ray, there's the American version of the first film that has a whole bunch of new scenes with American actors reacting to Gamera and saying, "What the hell's going on over there in Japan?" So that's never been on Blu-ray before. It's called Gamera the Invincible. So that's another reason to buy it, even if you have the films already.
Awesome.
I feel like you guys should have re-recorded those scenes as yourself and put them in there. That would have been hilarious.
We debated it. It nearly happened, and maybe next time.
It certainly looks impressive. John Cohorn says the set looks fantastic. That one in Criterion's Godzilla box. May have to battle it out on top of my shelves. Who's Criterion?
Thank you very much, John.
Never heard of that. We never heard of that before.
No.
All right, I'm looking for other questions. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about on the Gamera set?
What more?
It's only taken you a year so far, hasn't it?
It didn't take him that long.
Like I said,
just a couple of years.
Like I said, I know lots of people have been waiting for an announcement of what's going to be on the discs in terms of extras, and especially what English dub tracks are going to be with the films. So we'll have an announcement on that very soon. But just to answer those questions very briefly, everything that's been on the previous American editions and more in terms of extras, and in terms of the dubs, all of them. And I mean literally all of them. So no stone has been left unturned, and fans should be very, very happy when they see it.
That's great.
Thank you guys so much.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go on.
What's been the most, because one of the great joys for me with this kind of set is that I haven't had any involvement in it whatsoever. So I don't know the movies at all. And I get to just enjoy the fruits of someone else's labor and enjoy it as a fan. So I'm really looking forward to that. But what, on a kind of production perspective, what's been the most challenging aspect of that box set?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, it's just, two things, really. One was just trying to get my head around it at the beginning. So, I mean, the research part of it, which is, I'm sure it's the same for you, and when it's a title that you don't know very well, it's just getting your head around what's, even trying to remember what the films are called in the first place. Like, now I can recite them all in chronological order really, really easily. But at the time, trying to figure out what are these 12 weird films, and what are the best copies of them, and where do we get materials that are the best quality, and that kind of thing is really challenging when you've got a big project like that at the start. And once you get your head around that, I guess it's just trying to kind of get your heads around people's expectations as well. So I mean, fortunately in this case there are dedicated message boards where people talk about very vocally what their expectations are and what they want to see in the box set. So in a way, it's kind of a cheat sheet for you, because you can then be like, sure, okay, we'll just try and get that. We can't get that, but that's fine. We can't get everything. Although we often try to get everything. But so that is kind of the challenge, I guess, to kind of to get your head around everything, and B, to kind of try and meet everyone's expectations, I suppose. But, like I said, I fingers crossed fans should be very happy with what we put together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Can we get Louise to do a Gamera roar? I see her down there. I want to hear
me?
Yeah.
I can't do it as good as James. He is the OG of Gamera roars. I'm not even going to compete.
I don't want to embarrass Louise, but we've got a comment here.
Oh, gosh.
Louise Buckler is smoking hot.
Greg.
Thanks,
Are
Greg.
you embarrassed?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm glad it's quite dark in here because you can't see me blushing.
The last question that I had up there was, when's the release date?
Gamera's the end of July. Shame on me, I cannot remember the exact date, but it's towards the end of July. So hopefully there'll be no delays and we can stick to that. But that's what it's down for at the moment. In fact, what am I doing? I can just look at arrowfilms.com while you're all distracted. Don't
Can we go to arrowvideo.com? Is it on there yet? Or
yes. So if you go to arrowfilms.com or .co.uk, it'll tell you when to do the 28th of July. Yes.
28th of July.
Damn it, you took the words right in my mouth.
July 28th. Perfect.
Yeah.
The internet knows all.
Yes, it does. God bless it.
Except what we've got coming out later in the year.
Oh,
Yeah.
tease.
Well, I'm super excited about that. Any plans for any other kaiju after this, or are we looking too far into the future?
Nothing specific in terms of Japanese stuff. We've got some other old tokusatsu or sort of special effects Japanese stuff coming up, which is kind of from the same deal, and that Gamera fans will probably be interested in as well. But in terms of other kaiju movies, nothing in the pipeline just yet. But if this goes well, then fingers crossed we'll do more. So, fingers crossed, absolutely.
I think
giant monster movies from America, maybe, but from Japan, not so much yet.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully everybody supports this one. It looks like a stellar release.
Yeah, I agree. It's beautiful, beautiful artwork, beautiful box set. Everybody, check that one out.
Definitely. So, Zombie for Sale. Louise and Ewan, you guys are working on this one. And I'll go ahead and pull that up while y'all start talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, this artwork, I believe Lou commissioned. I don't know much about the artist. If you want to talk a
Yeah.
bit about him, but yeah, no, I really love this artwork.
So this is a new artist that we've used called Michael Lee Graham. He's done quite a few things for Zavi. He's done loads of commissions for other people. He's done some really amazing art. And I came across him because he did a new steelbook for Old Boy, which we've also released, and the art was stunning. So I got in touch with him. He loved the film, and he came up with this fantastic piece. And yeah, I can't fault it. First time he's worked with us, he got it spot on straight away. And it was, match made in heaven for the film.
Yeah, it kind of puts on display the craziness of that movie. I've seen trailers. I haven't seen the movie yet, but it looks insane. Tell us about the movie.
So it's a new Korean film. Basically, it starts at a pharmaceutical company. They've been doing all kinds of crazy tests, and one of their subjects dies, but also managed to escape the compound. He just walks along this road, runs into a few people. They think he's drunk, and just stumbles across a ramshackle garage owned by a family. He hides in their garage, and then they discover him and realize that he has the power of giving people vibrancy and youth again. So they decide to monetize that, and madness ensues.
It sounds mad. It kind of sounds a little bit like what's going on with the COVID-19 right now, too. Only people are dying. They're not getting energized.
Yeah. But no, it's a really fun film. It's like any Korean film. It's got a really nice mix of drama, comedy, and then some like crazy gore. I was really surprised when I was watching it how gory and how kind of horrific it gets. And it's, really incredible film for a first-time director.
I've heard it referred to as a rom-zom-com. Is that a new term we should start using? Rom-zom-com.
Yes. I'm going to make you a T-shirt for September.
It says rom-zom-com.
Yep.
So who is the director of this one?
So the director of this is Lee Mi-jae, and this is his first feature film. He's done a couple of short films, and it looks incredible. It's really kind of exciting to see what he's done on such a small budget, because it really does look really fantastic.
Yeah, it says you've got, as a special feature, there's a Q&A with the director Lee Min-jae. Is that correct?
Yeah.
From a 2019 screening at Asian Pop-Up Cinema in Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, this is kind of new for me because I'm normally working on older titles, so this was a bit of a challenge in terms of I'm not as comfortable with new new movies and new releases. But the Q&A. I mean, obviously, we're having to be a bit smart in terms of content at the moment because of the situation we all find ourselves in, and having to think outside the box. As it's not really able to shoot new interviews with people at the moment, having to do things remotely. And Lou luckily found this Q&A online, and Asian Pop-Up Cinema have been very kind in letting us use that. So that's a great little Q&A with the director. We also have a new audio commentary from our podcast guys, Sam and Dan. So fans of our podcast will definitely want to check it out. They've recorded a really great new commentary. And we have a video essay as well about Korean cinema, exploring their social satires, covering things like Parasite and that sort of genre of, like Lou was talking about, kind of mixture of comedy and social satire that Korea is known for.
Is it more difficult doing newer movies like this as opposed to established like cult classics? Is it harder to find content and what to put on the discs in that sense?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure these guys can weigh in as well. I mean, for me, it's just not really my area of comfort. For a start, when you're coming to an older film, you already have maybe a pool of archival material to kind of go from, and I mean that has its own challenges in terms of clearing that material and trying to make sure that you get. So I guess it can be a kind of double-edged sword. If there's existing stuff, there's pressure to get all that stuff on there as well to ensure that you bring together all the content that's been available for a film thus far and create new stuff. And it's I suppose this counts for catalog stuff as well, but it's also about access to talent. And maybe if it's a new film, It might be a busy filmmaker who's very active and has gone straight onto a new project. So sometimes it can be quite challenging to get access to them as well. But yeah, it's not personally my.
Just to be fair, London.
Yeah, was that you? Was it? That sounds like that's a made up name, isn't it?
No,
That's you. They were
that's the whole
catfishing
of London.
me.
Yeah.
Catfishing me live.
I do agree, though. You are Atomic Monster High. So,
Okay.
but just to be fair to the men here on the Arrow.
So yeah, it's for me, it's what gets my blood pumping is the comments like that, but also
That's the only reason you're here is for comments like that. You and Louise both. That's the only reason you joined us.
So yeah, I find my comfort zone is the catalog movies, but I like the challenge of working on something new as well. So I don't know if the other guys can share their experiences of producing newer releases versus older.
Yeah, I think there's more access, isn't there, with newer films? Like you can get access to people. I know you did Climax, Ewan, and we got some great stuff done for Climax. Or what was the other one? The Endless. The guys from The Endless just provided loads of material, and we had some great, material to work with. Lou's just done a brilliant job on After Midnight.
Yeah.
And again, just because we have all of that access to all the material, the filmmakers, they're often really appreciative that we want to put all of this together and help put it together, because some places just want to release the film, and filmmakers do want the story out there as well as much as possible. So we've been very lucky.
Maybe a difference actually with new releases that people are in the process of actively promoting it, so maybe they're more, whereas sometimes with a film that's 30 odd years old, you're contacting people and they're like, why are you asking me about this film? And maybe it's slightly different.
I can't remember. That's what they say. I don't know. Leave me alone. Then they see a picture of you and they're like, oh, he's smoking hot. I want to talk to him.
Wait, I think Atomic something.
Atomic Hot, sorry.
Come on, get it right.
There you go. See, there's another one.
There's another one of your fake profiles. You've been watching.
This is a real guy. Look, there's a picture and everything.
That's Lloyd in a wig. That is Lloyd
in a
wig.
Catfishing is, right? You see, don't fuck with cats.
Lloyd sends this to me too, the same stuff, and it's always Lloyd in a wig. So I'm paying attention to it.
Yeah.
We've had a few people that wanted to say thanks for bringing Lurch. Adam's family from the 90s. We've had a few of those pop up. So yes, absolutely. Carol Struken.
Well, obviously I love him from Adam's Family, but the premise for that was obviously re-release of The Prey, which was one of his. Well, no, I wouldn't say one of. It was definitely one of his earlier films. But
very early,
that was a lot of fun, and we had him along for a Q&A with some of the other cast. I was really, really happy that he was able to come to that.
He's a very nice guy. He was very welcoming.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
So, do you have anything else you want to add on that, Louise?
For Zombie for Sale or for the new films?
Zombie for Sale.
No, I think Ewan's pretty much covered it. It's going to be a really exciting release. We've had really good pre-orders so far, which is great. And especially for these newer films, it's sometimes hard to get people excited because they don't have the history with the films from watching them from a young age. So it's really nice that people are taking the chance on seeing these films purely because it's on the Arrow label. So yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. There's been so much great content coming out of the Korean market the last few years, and I'm excited to see this as well.
What I appreciate about Arrow is that you guys started out in England. I mean, in London or England, of course. But you've moved over to the U.S. and when you can, you do try to release them dual. You try to get it in the U.S. and overseas. So that's very appreciative of me. I know that's difficult to do sometimes, though, because the rights are different, in different countries. So
it's nice not to have to start buying Blu-rays in a different region, and then we have to get our region-free Blu-ray players, and it's just a little on the iffy side.
Yeah. I know I probably shouldn't encourage that, but I do it too.
Lloyd's bad about that.
I buy overseas, so whenever there's something that I need, I get it.
So do I, as you can see from behind me.
You have a massive collection.
I thought you were in a library, Louise. Jeez.
That's like a third of the discs we have. We have a ridiculous amount of films.
Let's see. I'm looking to see if we have any more questions about this.
Not
There's
just
a lot
about them being hot. We need real questions.
There's a lot of hot. We're not going to put up any more hot comments.
Ewan's a popular guy.
Yeah. You got any pictures there? Anyone sent any pictures in?
I just ordered my Arrow copy of Burnt Offerings, my favorite horror film with Karen Black.
Oh, Burnt Offerings, yeah.
Quick question from Scott Hall. Any news on the Django, Texas Adios set?
Yes.
There is. But we're not going to give it here. It's very
yes, very soon we'll have news on this. I think in the next week we should be hopefully announcing something. Can't quite say yet, but keep watching in the next week.
Guys, keep following Arrow Video and you'll get all your questions.
Yeah, there's a lot you guys can go through here after, but there's a lot of people requesting movies, and I know that gets massive for you guys. You must see people requesting certain titles constantly. How do you guys just find things that you're into and then go after them, or do you base it on fan requests at all, or do you just kind of gauge what you think is popular and that people might want to see?
I think it's kind of a mixture of all of the above. Yeah, I mean, as I was saying before, stuff that I've picked up, it's really just been a case of films that I want to have on Blu-ray on my shelf, and hunting them out and hunting out the rights holder and hopefully finding rights holders and materials. And then, yeah, obviously we have an email. Someone can remind me of the address where we have suggestions. I think it's called Suggestions at Arrow Films. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah. So we do actively, we'll receive suggestions, and we probably get, I don't know, every day, maybe 4 or 5 or more than that. I don't know.
Through social media as well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and comments, and we track all of that, and of course, tracking comments and seeing, certain titles will come up over and over again, and of course there's other titles.
For the record, we had the opportunity to release The Hitcher, and we thought it was overrated and wasn't going to sell well, so we just passed on it.
You can't pretend that you can't do that,
We
Jay.
thought it was seemed a bit off-brand. So
This is a good question from John. Have there been any white whale slashers, I guess movies in general, that you've wanted to release but haven't been able to track down?
well, it would be telling, wouldn't it?
It must be 1 or 2 for you, Ewan.
But that would.
They're like,
don't want to give away any secrets. I mean,
the answer is yes. Let's just say that.
There's some that haven't come together for various reasons. There's some that haven't been able to locate the rights holder, or maybe I have located the rights holder, but they don't have material. That's something that happens quite a lot. But I don't really want to get specific right now in case I jinx anything.
He said it was a trick question.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well,
we should have spotted that.
Keeping tight-lipped.
Exactly. So let's go on to one that I am super excited about.
It's
Dream
one of Ewan's.
Demon.
Yes. Have
I
you
saw
seen
the
it?
title. I was like, that's one of Ewan's. So I'm like,
I have seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it too.
It's the 2 key words there, Dream and Demon. You have seen it, have
The
you?
artwork.
Yeah, this artwork came from Christopher Shy, who's also done artwork for a title that we actually teased last year, Darkness, which is still to be formally announced. But yeah, worked. The film came to us from director Harley Coakless, who made before this in the early 80s made a kind of a Mad Max style dystopian action movie called Battle Truck, which I was very familiar with, which I used to have on VHS knocking around the house, and my dad was a big fan of it, and he was always saying how the opening sequence is one of his, thinks it's one of his favorite opening sequences to any film. So that's quite a strong recommendation. So I was familiar with Harley's work from that, and he was also second unit on Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
So he goes to quite a lot of Star Wars conventions and does all that sort of thing. But he's been based in London for many years, since before Dream Demon, and the film came to us through him. And because he's local, I've spent a lot of time working with him on putting this release. So he's really kind of been like very involved in shepherding the release and getting together the cast and crew. He actually had. It's a great story, really. I mean, the film has been it kind of sort of fell into obscurity. It was produced by Palace Pictures, who were in the 80s. They were kind of a big British. Well, they started out as a video label in the UK, and they brought Nightmare on Elm Street and Evil Dead to Britain. So they were kind of they're a very memorable company in this country for kind of genre movies, and they went into production. They also made Neil Jordan's Company of Wolves, and they produced Dream Demon. Strangely, many of the companies that were involved in the distribution of the film towards the end of the 80s went bankrupt. Not related to Dream Demon, I should add. But so the film kind of sort of fell by the wayside, really, and it sort of got lost in sort of the late 90s, early noughties, and was kind of consigned to, rips on YouTube. And Harley, the director, kind of made it his sort of personal quest to unearth the film, and he managed to track down the original negative of the movie.
Nice.
And it was actually sort of happenstance at the time that he was doing that. The BFI, the British Film Institute, was running a program called Unlocking Film Heritage, which was, they provided the funding for the restoration of the film. So he was able to restore the movie. He actually made some tweaks to the film, to the ending of the film, because he always felt, I won't ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but he always felt that the ending of the movie he wasn't quite happy with how it tonally left off, and he wanted to tweak it a little bit. So he was able to do that, and he re-released this new edited version in 2017 on the festival circuit as a director's cut. I should add that we have included the original cut of the film on there as well, because obviously people want to see the film as it was originally released. But yeah, so it's really been a delight working with Harley really closely and getting this film that he's extremely close to, getting it back out there. And we've been lucky enough to get some great interviews with cast and crew. Jemma Redgrave, it was her first. She's a well-known British actress. It was her first feature role. We were able to get an interview with Bill Nelson, who's a composer and kind of a musical pioneer, who's kind of been active in many bands since sort of 60s, 70s, 80s. He provides a really fantastic score. And yeah, it's been a big project, and really happy to get it out there. And hopefully some people will be discovering this film for the first time. Very
nice.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's something that came out after Nightmare on Elm Street, but
yeah,
I don't. It's not really a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff at all.
Not at all.
Well, in fact, the producer Paul Webster, who's gone on to do some really big movies. It was his first production project, and he quite openly says, because he became a producer through working at Palace, which distributed Nightmare on Elm Street in the UK. And he freely says that Dream Demon was conceived basically as a kind of a cash-in on Nightmare on Elm Street. So that was really the sort of jumping off point for the film and the whole kind of rubber reality, nightmare, based horror movie. But in the hands of director Harley Cokeless, he kind of elevated the material and brought in a lot of his own kind of influences, and it went from being this kind of what was meant to just be a sort of cheapy Nightmare on Elm Street cash-in to something quite different. And it's a really interesting film. It's from a period in Britain, when it's quite unique for its time. There wasn't a huge number of horror movies, certainly sort of serious-minded horror movies coming out of Britain at that time. Aside from Hellraiser, which it's probably its nearest kind of kin, I think. So that's how it was kind of conceived, but it sort of took on a different kind of life.
What Arrow video would you say every person should have in their collection? I bet you all have a different idea of what that is.
So many favorites, so many different days. I don't know, Battle Royale comes to mind at the moment, but also Dawn of the Dead. Oh, there's so many. I wish everybody could have Female Prisoner Scorpion box set, but that's not quite as mainstream. I'll go with Battle Royale as my choice.
There you go. What about you, James?
I'm going to be incredibly indulgent and try and recommend something that we actually released fairly recently that I produced that I think quite a lot of people have probably slept on a bit, that I just think is a very special film, or a film that I worked really hard on putting out that more people will hopefully have the opportunity to see in the future, which is The Passion of Darkly Noon, which is actually, in some ways, it's coming off the back of what Ewan was saying about Dream Demon. Passion of Darkly Noon is a film by a British director called Philip Ridley that was made not too long after Dream Demon, but it kind of belongs to that same tradition of British directors really playing around with dreamlike imagery in the kind of horror space. It's a film that's never really had a good DVD release. It's never had a Blu-ray before. So that we were able to kind of bring it out and restore it from the negative was something really special. And Philip, the director, was very involved with that. I'd worked with him a few years ago on a release of his previous film he'd done called The Reflecting Skin, which I think has also come out on Blu-ray fairly recently. So this is another, if you've seen that movie, that gives you some idea of what to expect from The Passion of Darkly Noon. It's Viggo Mortensen is in it as well as Brendan Fraser and Ashley Judd, and it's unlike anything any of those guys have been in before or since. It's a wild ride. So if you haven't had the chance to check out The Passion of Darkly Noon yet, then please do. And otherwise, RoboCop, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Limited edition of RoboCop.
We love RoboCop in Dallas. That's like our one movie that was made here. That's all we got.
Oh man, I want to go and see the OCP Tower. So hopefully in September I'll be able to make that a reality.
I'll make it happen for you because I know where all the film locations are because I've done them all. So
awesome.
Tell me I'm gonna go do it.
Dallas City Hall. That's the building that kind of is built like at an angle.
It's actually like a 6 square block radius of Dallas, so like every single film location is. So you can do them all.
Yeah.
James would have been out this weekend. It would have been his first weekend out. You're adding the pain on, but no, September for sure.
Getting fat and happy on barbecue. That's going to happen in September.
Exactly. What about you, Louise? What's your?
So I would say Evil Ed. It's like a Swedish splatter slasher from 1995, and I just think it's really fun. Like I grew up watching it with my sister. We brought VHF of it at a car boot, and I was like obsessed with it. We were watching it when we were way too young, and I just have really fun memories of watching it. It's got a little bit Evil Dead in there, a little bit of Brain Damage, and it's really, really fun, and it's really worth watching. So that would be my recommendation, and definitely not enough people have seen it. So please buy that.
Nice.
Buy it, yeah. Go to Diabolique DVD.
Yeah.
What about you, Ewan?
I'm just glancing over my shelf. I'm trying to think of something that's UK, US. To be honest, I would probably go. Again, it's kind of self-indulgent, but for me, still, kind of when I look at my shelf, I probably get the most satisfaction out of seeing the Mutilator on my shelf.
Yeah.
It was kind of, for me, it was like one of my first acquisitions, and I just think it has kind of everything that you want from a slasher movie. I think it's got likable characters, great setting, quite unique, just a great kind of synthy score, but also this ridiculously upbeat kind of Cheers-esque theme tune, and obviously the kills, the gore are some of the best that the early '80s slasher movie has to offer.
You guys definitely plucked that one from obscurity because it was a legendary title that everybody wanted forever, and then you couldn't.
Well, yeah, me too, and that's how it came about. It was kind of rumored for a long time from another label that will remain nameless, and I kept following like the blog posts, and it kept seeming like it was coming, and then it never eventuated, and so I just sort of started. I thought I'll just try and get hold of the director. So somebody got me his details. He was actually, turns out, it would have been quite easy to find because he still owns and runs the motel on the beach where it was shot. So I could have just gone straight to their website, but I purely just really wanted to have that damn thing on my shelf, and I just still get so much satisfaction out of seeing it there. And I think the story behind it is great as well. We did a kind of a feature-length doc that's on the disc. So if anyone's even slightly partial to golden era slasher movies, it's a no-brainer. Recommend for me.
That's my weakness, is those golden era slasher flicks, and there's so many of them out there.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of rumors about what you guys might have in the work in that, but I won't mention it because I don't want to put you guys on the spot.
I mean,
see who's got the best poker face and doesn't react.
I bet all of your guys' recommendation emails come from Lloyd anyway. It's probably just
I'm constantly online emailing you guys.
This one, he uses different names, as you can see all his aliases have popped up. So.
Somebody asked Lloyd and Charles, do you have a favorite arrow? I have several.
I have a lot. One of my favorites is the Scarlet box set of Hellraiser.
Yeah, I see that's
behind me.
Artfully posed in the background there.
It sits on my shelf because Clive Barker signed it, and I'm afraid to touch it, but I love that one.
Nice.
Yeah, mine would be the Phantasm UK box, and also basket case, which I think you guys rolled out. You premiered it at the Frightmare a couple of years ago, right?
Oh, that was Brain Damage that we did.
Brain Damage,
Yeah,
sorry.
which was also great.
Yeah. But
but basket case was a lot of fun because again, it's the Frank Henlotter was really involved and up for producing some of his own stuff. I don't know if you've dipped into the extras, but there's some great stuff and some truly bizarre stuff on there that he's put on as well, like an interview with Frank Henlotter that is actually some naked dude with a big schlong who stands up in front of the camera towards the end. And Frank mentioned it sometime, months before, and I was like, yeah, do it. Just, happy for you to do that.
Yeah.
And he also did a kind of a basket case, sort of 3.5 mini kind of sequel thing as well. So, like whenever a filmmaker is up for, producing new extras and stuff, I'm all in, and that's like, one of the best case scenarios when a filmmaker is, really involved like that and wants, is excited about the re-release and going to that extent to make it, different and, create some really fun supplements.
Especially somebody like Henlotter.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, he was really involved with that, so that was cool. And we also got an animator, stop motion animator, Robert Morgan, to create a kind of basket case inspired short film as well. So that was really fun, and that was kind of a different thing for us as well.
Nice.
I don't know what those two words mean.
Yeah.
Ewan has an immaculate vocabulary.
He does.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, we're going to send Ethan your home address. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout. It'll be like Night of the Hunter or something. He'll be outside your door singing.
Don't encourage them, Charles.
I have that problem of encouraging people. Then I feel bad afterwards. I'm like, oh.
Richard Nettleton says, I'm going broke just listening to this. So many movies, so little money. Absolutely.
That's why when you guys ask what's the favorite Arrow release, it's hard because I'm like, if I sit here, I could I could probably list like movies for 40 minutes. Be like, in this, we've got so many.
Yeah, so many titles, so many things that I've been salivating forever for. And then when Arrow came along, they dropped all of these great releases on the U.S. And
Yeah.
I personally feel thankful that we have Arrow doing that for us, doing that for all of the fans of the genre. So thank you guys.
And so many different genres too. I mean, you guys really hit the mark with everybody. There's something that a fan of every genre has been wanting. You guys seem to find it.
Let's
Thanks.
see.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 talked about today, which would be the must-have? They're all must-haves.
All of them.
Oh, camera! It's gotta be.
Why don't you just die?
Could we have a battle royale
Egg
fight?
Boris Steel, camera.
The best title. Oh, here's one that I love personally. Edge of the Axe has been my favorite release. Happy to see it finally on Blu-ray where it belongs. Definitely. That was one that just seemed. I had a VHS of it a few years ago, and that was the only copy that I had. And it somehow I lost it. I don't know what happened to it. And thank God Arrow came to the rescue and made it available to us all again.
And of course, the lead actress is a homegrown Dallas boy.
Really?
Well, he's certainly based there now, or Texan at least. But he recorded a commentary and an interview for us, and it's a delight to listen to that accent over the feature length movie. That was one that was that came up in requests a lot, so it was great to get that out. I love all his artwork, but Justin Osborne's artwork for that cover was just one of the most exciting moments in general in my job is when new artwork comes into the inbox and you open it up and it fills your screen, and that's one of the you get to be creative by proxy in choosing who you get to do your artwork. And that one he kind of told me he was going to do something that would be like an homage to the original VHS with the mask poking through the doorway, it was just absolutely perfect when it came through. And we had a bit of fun with the packaging for that. We sort of I'd kind of been wanting to do it on previous releases, but hadn't really fully committed to it, but recreating the back of the video sleeve for the back of the slipcase, and having some stills on the back, because I really miss having pictures, because I'm really illiterate like that, and I just like to have pictures sometimes and not read loads of text. So it was really, more pictures on the back of sleeves, please.
No, you have an immaculate vocabulary. We've seen it.
Well, okay.
You guys made a dream come true for me personally with the Larraz, all of the Larraz releases, the box set and Edge of the Axe. I'm a huge fan personally of vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put that out, that made my dream come true. Vampires is fantastic. It's just I think it's one of the best vampire movies ever made.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not really, I'm not really that. I'm more towards late 70s, 80s, and I'm not really into the classic vampire stuff or Hammer. But there's something about the atmosphere to that film, and it's still really packs a punch in terms of the naked flesh and the bloodletting. It's still pretty full on. I was really delighted that we were able to get that into the box set. I guess one of my regrets with that release, not regret, but I really wanted to do some of the location stuff, because it's on our doorstep. But for various reasons, it wasn't possible to do that. But the exteriors of the big mansion were filmed at Oakley Court, which you may know was also the main location for Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is,
I didn't know that,
one of my all-time favorites. So I did actually go there on a little recce. They sometimes have a cult film fair in a building on the grounds there. It's now a hotel, like a fancy hotel. And so I drove out there. It's about 30 minutes outside London. And I really wanted to, kind of, well, I just love running around horror locations with a camera and yeah, recreating sequences and you know, copping some flack online for showing too much flesh in some of my, some of my recreations of certain bathing sequences. But yeah, so I wanted to do that, but I had the pleasure of visiting it myself and imagining myself rolling up to the vampire's mansion. Interesting, I didn't realize some of the things that you learn when you're working on re-releases is that the interiors of most of the interiors were actually shot at a different location, which if you're a big Larraz fan and you're familiar with the film Symptoms, which he made before, it's actually most of the interiors were the same house as Symptoms, but through the magic of the movie artifice, it's all located at this kind of Gothic type mansion, which is now a very swish hotel, which you can stay the night at for you know, a small fortune.
Let's see, are there plans for another box set, or is it singles for any further Larraz movies?
I would certainly like there to be a second volume of Larraz, is all I can say. We released Deadly Manor as well. I mean, I think we had been sitting on Edge of the Axe and Deadly Manor for quite a long time, and I originally conceived them as being part of a follow-up box set. But for various reasons, we decided to bring those forward. And I think, you know, I think they do have certain elements of sort of flourishes of Larraz in there, but I think the kind of decision was taken, you know, they kind of stand alone as well as you know, kind of solid little examples of late 80s slasher. So I think we decided that those would work okay on their own as well. But yeah, I would love to see more Larraz on Blu-ray. I think yeah, I mean, it became a real crusade in a way, because it just, apart from vampires, he'd always been really underrepresented on Blu-ray. You know, even Symptoms only came out a few years ago, and you know, he's you know, kind of a Spaniard making, you know, in his early period, is a Spaniard making movies in the UK and filming the UK in a way that no kind of British director has ever really managed to capture it. And you know, some of his early movies are some of the, you know, the oddest, sleaziest, wonderful little examples of kind of British psychosexual thrillers. So you know, there's some that still are kind of out there in obscurity, and obviously I would love to see those on Blu-ray. You know, I was just really happy that we're able to get Whirlpool on there, which up until our Blu-ray release had only ever been available on YouTube in like a time-coded, incredibly pixely dark print. So that was a real coup. And you know, some of his other earlier British thrillers like Deviation and Scream and Die are desperately in need of good quality releases as well.
Dum dum dum. So that's a clue, everyone. That's a clue.
It's not a clue. It's not a confirmation nor denial. You're not gonna railroad
rumors here. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's purely my own desire.
Gotcha.
To see in the world more Larraz.
And somebody says this was my first time seeing the box set. Was my first time seeing Whirlpool.
Yeah. Unless you'd had the patience to sit through a time-coded pixely copy on YouTube, it would be. Yeah.
So what else? We've got all of these other releases that we've talked about. Why Don't You Just Die, Gamera, Zombie for Sale, and Dream Demon. We've got the links to everything. If you're watching on YouTube, just look in the description of the video. We've got links to all of them on Diabolic DVD. You can go and check those out, pre-order them now, get them on the way to your post office, your box, get those on order. Any other questions from viewers out there? I've got one. Will Arrow ever have their own streaming service? That's interesting. I would think that you know, being on Apple and Amazon is probably the greatest way to go, right?
Yeah, so we've started off. Obviously, we've been on Amazon now for I think about 10 years with the Arrow, 2 years for the Arrow Video channel on Apple, probably about a year. Yeah, we're looking into whether we can host our own as well. That is something we're looking at. But at the moment, the Arrow Video channel has, we change our content every month. We bring a new release title every month, or that's what we're looking to do for the rest of the year. We're starting to put our extra features on there, and obviously there's curated selections for a lot of our content. So yeah, do check it out. And the bigger it gets, the more we will look into rolling out our own platform, as it were.
Perfect. All right, guys. What else do you have? We've been on for an hour now, and you've kind of spilled your guts on everything, and we're so thankful for that. Thank you for letting us show off the Gamera box set, exploded pack view. What did you call it? What was the term for it? The exploded
pack shot is where you can see all of the contents in it. It's the box set spilling its guts, literally.
Yep.
That's,
Well, thank you guys for letting us show that. I know that everybody was excited to see that for the first time.
Lloyd, I think we need to do this with Arrow more often. This is fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, really.
I missed seeing your faces this weekend. So
This
it's
is the
nice
most
to see you. Yeah.
I think this is the first time that I've ever talked to Mike 2 days in a row, because usually I see him right at the beginning
first day,
and then everything goes crazy, and then I don't ever see you guys again. So it's awesome.
I mean, obviously we're gutted. We can't be out there as are everybody else, but we will be back in September. We will be having the titles we've talked about by and large, unless Gamera sells out before then. But we will be bringing a lot more as well. And, Louise and I, we've done the last 3 years, and, we're really missing it. And, James was going to come this year, and, you guys put on the best show. You are, for us, our main US friends, our first go-to, and we love you. So, yeah.
Well, honestly, we're honored that you guys are a part of the event. We're honored to have Arrow as our presenting sponsor, because not only because you have the greatest titles out there, but because you're just such nice people. And we truly appreciate that. And I know all of our attendees do as well.
No, thanks for having us back year on year. We really appreciate it. You guys are always so kind to us. You give us tips on barbecue, which is greatly appreciated.
We love barbecue.
Yeah.
One thing we know is the good food joints around, so you can always count on it. Well, like Akasha says, let's do it. How about each month until Frightmare? I'm down if you guys are down.
I'm down.
Yeah, sure, that'd be fun.
We'd love to. Yeah, we'd love to.
Definitely.
All right. Well, we won't hold you guys up too much. We know you have more content to get on. Get busy, get to work, and stop slouching our video.
We certainly haven't stopped this last few weeks, have we?
Take care of all of Lloyd's requests. I know he has a lot. So.
I'll send you my personal list of slashers that I need released.
Oh, what's the top one? What's the top one?
It's like long.
Oh my gosh, the 3D one. What is that? What is the name?
Madness.
There it is. Exactly. That would be fantastic. Have you ever thought about? I mean, 3D is something I personally love, and unfortunately, it seems like the ship is kind of sailing on 3D right now. But that's a question that I would have: 3D releases, 4K releases. Any of that?
3D, okay. I don't. I mean, I can only. That's two questions, really. I mean,
I can't answer them.
I mean, I love the 80s 3D, and obviously, I would love any opportunity to do something gimmicky like, bespoke 3D glasses. So, yeah, 3 thumbs up for 3D.
Perfect. And how many thumbs for 4K releases, like actual 4K releases?
At least 4.
At least 4. 3.5 thumbs.
We've done a couple of 4K on digital now, and we've still held back on the physical, but who knows? We might look at that.
So hopefully soon. Hopefully soon, but no promises just yet.
No promises. All right, guys. Well, like I said, we don't want to keep you too long. Get back out there. Have a good time. Stay safe. Wash your hands. All of that stuff.
You too. Thank you so
Thanks
much,
for having
Lloyd.
us.
Thanks
you.
very
Thanks,
much, guys.
everybody.
Thank you for coming on.
And see you in
Till
September.
next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Guys.
Cheers. Bye.
See ya.
Cheers,
Bye.
Awesome.
Wow.
They're always so nice and friendly.
I know.
Guys, don't forget, where you can, I know on YouTube and Facebook, like I mentioned earlier, we did put links down there to their website here in the U.S. and also to the Diabolique DVD website, all the links to all of their stuff. So make sure you go visit them, get your favorites on pre-order as soon as you can.
Yep, definitely. And I think Arrow Video is one of those companies that can maybe take you back to like your childhood, because if there's a movie on there that you maybe are not familiar with, but the cover art looks cool, I say just go ahead and get it, because you're probably going to enjoy it.
Yeah. There's so many. And, you know, it kind of blindsided me when somebody asked me and you what our favorite releases were, but there are so many. Like you mentioned the Scarlet Box.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic release. Amazing. But I have so many favorite Arrow releases, and I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. I mean, I kind of approached them because of how amazing their releases are about coming on as a sponsor. So there was a lot of love there before they ever came aboard officially.
Yeah, I mean, they bring things out that everybody kind of wants to see, but there's been no medium for it. It's either you watch a really crappy version online, like they were saying, or you find an old VHS copy. And that stuff makes it not attainable to new viewers, because a lot of people who are getting into this don't sort of harken back to those old ways of watching. So it really helps bring it to a new light.
Yeah, to the new generation that wants a sparkling, crystal clear. And I totally get that. I'm that way. I definitely have a lot of love in my heart for the VHS stuff, but I think it's exciting when you get to see that movie that you're used to watching on VHS. It's totally exciting to see that new 4K transfer, the new 10K, or even, you know, a 1080p. It's great you kind of notice new things, and you can pick out, you know, different things that you didn't notice before.
I like the idea somebody had said of seeing both versions, because I think it would be interesting on some of these to have almost like a split viewing where you have like the top that's the original and the bottom that's the Blu-ray, so you can see the work that goes into some of these, because there is a lot when you watch these. It's crazy.
We got some people asking about the Devil, if the Devil's coming on. Where's El Diablo?
The Diablo. I know that yesterday we poured holy water on the ground and we chanted. And I think that worked. Granted, me and Lloyd had to take our clothes off, and it was very strange, but it worked.
that scared El Diablo away.
El Diablo, I don't know if it was the chanting or the view, but I think it worked. I'm not sure, though.
Everyone needs to feel positive vibes to get rid of the virus, and Frightmare is helping out.
Positive. That's what we're doing. Positive vibes.
Hey, we just thank you guys for tuning in and
Yeah.
watching us talk about, you know, our crazy stuff, and
Jabber.
and checking out our Arrow. Thanks for coming on, everybody. We appreciate the views.
Yeah.
Totally appreciate it.
When are we going to be back on, Lloyd?
I think we're going to try to do something Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we've got something Sunday as well.
Saturday.
Saturday, that's right.
We don't know the days anymore. All the days blend together.
Yeah.
Every day's the same.
We're going to try to do a special Wednesday episode.
Mhm.
But we're definitely, I think we're going to do Saturday. We might do Saturday, 2:00 again. And we're definitely going to do the Prime watch party.
Yeah, we're going to do the watch party of Friday the 13th with Lloyd and I's very colorful commentary on the film. What do you have there in your hand, Lloyd? It's not nudie photos again, is it? We can't keep showing these online.
I've got the Karen Black. I got my crap together today.
Did you randomize the winner? Did you find the winner?
I did. So do you have a drum roll over there?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
You don't. Dang it.
Do you want me to have a drum roll?
No, well, maybe later. Maybe
Okay.
later.
For
So-
times.
The Karen Black signed 8x10. The winner is Meredith Petrie.
Meredith.
Hey, come in, drop in sometime, PM me. and we'll get this going. We'll get this out to you, Meredith. Congratulations on winning that. We almost got away. We almost got away with
No!
without El Diablo.
Get out of here. Get out. Lloyd, banish it.
You have that over there. You need to take care of this for me.
No. I can't. Out, demon. Out. The power of Christ. See?
Oh, it worked. Good job.
I'm alerted preacher. I'm good.
Jeff
banish
Evans
devils
says,
on the weekends.
what time for Friday the 13th watch party?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I don't know. Do we have a time yet?
We're going to put that out there. We'll post that soon. Just keep your eyes on all of our pages, the Facebook page and everything.
Yeah.
Let's give away Bruce Campbell. Who wants a Bruce Campbell?
I don't think anybody wanted that. I think that you said we had to toss it in the trash. And I was kind of
You don't want
sad.
to give that away? You just want to throw it away?
Well, I think that's what you told me. I think you said everybody messaged you and said they didn't care and they didn't want it. And I was like, oh.
Put it in the shredder.
All
We
right.
have somebody that says me, me, me. Well, we've already chosen the winner, so we might
I
as well give it
know.
away. Let's see. First winner wins the Bruce Campbell,
Okay.
and the winner is Diane N. Tran. Congratulations, Diane Tran. You have won the. Is this the Bruce Campbell? Yeah, this is the Bruce Campbell.
The Bruce.
Diane, you won. I don't know if you're watching right now. You better be watching.
I hope you're watching.
Yeah,
Or Lloyd's going to throw it in the trash, like he said.
exactly. The next winner, that is for the Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi, Army of Darkness, autographed 8x10.
These are for people sharing. Everybody that shared the videos, this is what that's for. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Drop this one out so we can see it. It's signed by Sam Raimi there. You can see that, Army of Darkness. That goes to Jen Trujillo.
Jen
Trujillo, you have won this
1.
autographed 8x10 from Sam Raimi.
That's awesome, Jen.
Let's see. I got Bruce and Sam last year, so I didn't share to enter. Oh,
That's
that's
not
sweet,
sweet.
Todd.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Let's see. So somebody asked about if it was on Twitch or Amazon Prime. Okay, this is on Twitch.
Yes.
So sign up for a Twitch account if you don't have Twitch. What you do is you sign on to Twitch, and then we here at Frightmare HQ will start. We're going to play Friday the 13th. That is on the anniversary date.
Yes.
And then you guys, if you have Amazon Prime, you can join us and watch. And if you don't, Charles had a good idea. They have a trial, so maybe you can sign up for the trial, and maybe that'll work.
Yeah. I think everybody wants to get together. I think it'd be fun to sit down and watch a movie together. Maybe, depending on what me and Lloyd have to drink, but there's no telling.
Yeah, we might have a couple of drinks, so it might get a little wild.
It might be a very evolving commentary.
Ethan says, what if I share now? We should give something else away for this one.
What do you got?
I don't know. I'm sure I can come
I
up
didn't
with
pick
something.
anything up. I didn't pick anything up.
I'll get my assistant to grab us something here. We've got a lot of autographs over there. You know what we ought to do?
What do we got?
Yeah, bring me that one. Any Saw fans out there? Anybody like Saw?
Does anybody like Saw?
I think we've got something cool that we can give away. How about a Costas Mandalore Hoffman signed 8x10? Too bad we didn't get that signed by the man himself there, Jigsaw. But that's what we'll give away on the next show. That's for sharing this show that you're watching right now. We'll give away a Costas Mandalore.
Yes. Likely it'll be next. Well, it'll be next Saturday, either at 2:00 or when the movie shows. We'll see what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we'll announce all of this. We just kind of fly on the seat of our pants, and that's how we roll here.
Me and Lloyd have no plans in life. We just sort of sitting around. We're like, all right, let's do it. No, it's time.
Exactly. Any other comments? You guys got any comments or questions?
What do you got? Is there any more questions before we leave?
Ethan says, "Dang, still good." Yeah, we're not giving away junk here, guys. These are cool autographs. This is good stuff.
The next stuff's gonna be all signed by Lloyd. It's gonna be like this is a 8x10 photo of Lloyd signed by Lloyd Cryer.
I'm gonna sign a picture of my lawnmower or something.
Sign weird pictures like get people excited. It'll be a picture of Robert England. People be like, "Oh my god!" It'll be like signed by Lloyd Cryer.
Yeah. Just some random. I like save a McDonald's hamburger, like a Big Mac wrapper or a box or something. I'll sign that and send that out.
Just send that out. Get weird stuff though. Make it like get like a 24x36 poster of Dom DeLuise and send that out signed by Lloyd. You won't even know what they're gonna do with it. They'll be like, I don't know.
I don't know if a lot of people even know who Dom DeLuise is anymore.
They will. They will though.
We'll make him popular again.
We're gonna bring Dom DeLuise back. Everybody go watch Cannonball Run. That's the movie of the week, Cannonball Run.
Or what about that? What was the movie that came out that had him and Burt Reynolds? Was it The End? Where Burt Reynolds was always trying to kill himself or something? And I think Dom DeLuise was in that too.
Was he in that? I don't know. Him and Burt Reynolds were in a Cannonball Run. So
they were, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Cannonball Run. I don't know.
What
I
else?
say that because I like Cannonball Run. I have a Cannonball Run problem.
Well, we won't take your horror membership club card away for that one because Adrian Barbeau is in that too, right?
I think a lot of people are in that.
There's a lot of people in that.
Like everybody who worked in Hollywood at that time, I think, who was not an A-list person was in that movie.
Who's the guy that was the trucker? What was his name?
I can't remember his name.
She that song. She got the gold mine. I got the shaft.
Just sing it for me. I just want to hear what you sing.
She got the gold mine, and I got the shaft.
Is that going to be the new theme song? I
remember the rest of that song.
That should be the new theme song when we come on.
Yeah.
We need like a 1980s intro.
Yeah, we need that. Like,
Adrian was in that. Who else was in that though? Everybody was in that. Dean Martin was in that. Jackie Chan was in that. Like everybody was in that movie.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Peter Fonda, I think, was even in that movie.
Cannonball Run. Oh my
Pull it up.
gosh. Why are there like 500 different movies titled Cannonball Run?
Because it's the greatest title ever made. It's probably the greatest film ever made.
Okay, Burt Reynolds, Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett,
everybody.
Dom DeLuise.
There he is. Everybody's in this
Dean
movie.
Martin.
Dean Martin had to be in this movie.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. also had to be in this movie.
Jack Elam. Adrian Barbeau.
Yeah, Adrian Barbeau.
Terry Bradshaw. Hey, I'm Terry Bradshaw.
I met Terry Bradshaw once at a book signing.
Too. I met Terry when I worked at the car dealership. He came in one day and he wore a hat, like pulled way down like this, so you couldn't see him. And he was like, "Hey, don't let anybody talk to me. I just want to get a car. Don't talk to me. I'm Terry Bradshaw."
You're like, okay.
That's my imitation of Terry. Yeah, and I was like, "Who cares? I don't want to talk to Terry Bradshaw."
You should have been like, "Attention, everybody! If you look over to your left, you will see the one, the only
Terry Bradshaw."
Terry Bradshaw.
Here's a guy that I bet you wouldn't guess that was in Cannonball Run.
Give me something. Who is it?
Jackie Chan.
I said Jackie Chan.
Did you say Jackie Chan?
Jackie Chan. That was like, it's one of his early roles.
Yeah, Subaru driver #1.
He was a Subaru driver, and it was not a very politically correct role nowadays, but he was the Subaru driver.
Bert Convy. What do I recognize that name from?
Bert Convy.
I recognize Bert Convy from something.
I mean, he was in Cannonball Run, so there's that. That's all I know. Wait. He was in
Weekend Warriors, whatever that is. Hero at Large. I remember that movie with John Ritter. He was supposed to be like a superhero. I don't know why I remember that movie.
Wasn't that a ripoff of or was it like it was like Greatest American Hero ripoff, wasn't it?
It's kind of like that. Like he was, let's see, a struggling actor buying milk stops a robbery while wearing a superhero uniform, promoting a movie. The unknown hero decides to try again. Can he impress his cute neighbor? Does
That just sounds like a
watch
bucket
that?
of fun. Okay, that's everybody's movie then. We have to find that movie and we have to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember that movie coming on TV and it was terrible.
It's probably given away in like packs of Tide now or something. Everybody gets a copy.
Jamie Farr, Peter Fonda. I mean, it's just an all-star cast of 70s and 80s.
I mean, basically anybody who matters to be in a movie. Who
Right.
else? Is that it?
I don't recognize the other names. They don't even have a picture by their names, the rest of them.
Well, that means they're probably the best people in the movie, though.
You
All
think
right.
so?
So I think we need to
Well,
do...
Mel Tillis.
Who?
Mel Tillis. You remember Mel Tillis, the stuttering country music singer?
No, should I?
I only know him because my grandmother used to watch Hee Haw all the time. And Hee Haw, he was always on Hee Haw.
My grandparents watch Hee Haw, but I don't
You
even
don't
recall an
remember
episode of
Tillis?
Hee Haw. Maybe if I heard a song of his.
Oh God, I couldn't even name a song of Mel Tillis.
Wait. He did Coca-Cola Cowboy. There you go. That's the song of the week, Coca-Cola Cowboy.
Josette, Josette says, "Hey, who's watching the YouTube comments? I am the producer and the host. I am taking on double duty.
Lloyd
here.
does everything.
I do miss things because I had to go to Cannonball Run website and I missed out on stuff.
Look, Cannonball Run is the most important thing that's happening to us right now.
Yeah,
That's all that
somebody
matters.
mentioned Mel Tillis before I did. Oh,
Everyone was in Cannonball Run. El Diablo was probably in it as well. Yes! El Diablo was in Cannonball Run.
Yeah, there is a lot of comments here when I go back. Michael LaForge says, "Sing it, Lloyd."
Because everybody loves Cannonball Run. This is the problem. It's that needs to be the next Arrow video release. Cannonball Run, special edition box set, fully restored on 4K.
The
In
freaking
3D, somehow in 3D.
The comments blew up. Nobody had any questions hardly for Arrow. And as soon as I mentioned Cannonball Run,
I
everybody's
told
like,
you.
"Red Dog is, I love me some Cannonball Run."
I brought up Cannonball Run. I know what the people want. People want Cannonball Run. That's what they want.
It's a horror podcast, though.
I don't care. It's all about Cannonball Run. Maybe Cannonball Run's a horror movie in disguise and we just don't know it.
It could be.
What happens to the losers? I
It's
don't
a
know.
little bit horrific for sure. Let's see.
All right, let's get off Cannonball Run.
All right, we'll move on. What were
See,
you?
everybody's talking about Cannonball Run, though. Look, everybody's talking about
It's
Cannonball Run.
everywhere.
I'm single-handedly bringing back Cannonball Run for the masses.
Yeah.
One day there's going to be a Blu-ray set, and inside's going to be a picture of me pointing at it going, Cannonball Run?
Todd says we're all drunk today. Either that or hangover time.
I'm drunk on Cannonball Run. That's how I spend my life.
All right, you said we were going to move on, Charles. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on to more stuff. What else we got? I don't know. We've been out here for an hour and a half now.
I know.
Now we brought up Cannonball Run. I'm all energized. I'm like, oh. Not what you do, it's what you do with. Sorry.
Everybody's talking about Smokey and the Bandit now.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're turning this into a carsploitation podcast now.
Hey, speaking
Call
of carsploitation, has anybody ever seen a movie called Supervan?
Oh,
I saw that at
Superman.
the drive-in when I was a kid, and I thought that was the greatest movie ever.
You know, we just stumbled across this today looking at movies. I saw Supervan and I was like, look, it's vansploitation, Lloyd.
Yeah,
Vansploitation.
that's true. There was a whole subgenre of vansploitation, and
There was. That's
But
a whole like thing we could talk about, vansploitation.
that movie was the van had a name. It was Vandora, I think, and
A man named Clint enters a solar-powered van called Vandora in a competition called Freak Out.
James Watzka says Superman. No, it's Super Van.
It's better than any Superman movie ever made. Let's just say that.
It is epic in its own way. Epic
It's got
shit.
Mark Snyder in it. All right, so
Another car exploitation. Do you remember Corvette Summer?
yep,
Mark Hamill.
Corvette Summer.
There were so many car and van movies when I was growing up in the 70s. It was insane.
I wrote an article once on carsploitation about the best carsploitation movies because I have a carsploitation problem. That's just how I live my life. It's a problem of mine.
Todd Lewis, you should look out for The Big Bus, which was one of those 70s airport disaster movies, but with a bus. Okay,
With a
I'm on
bus.
it. I got to check that one out.
It's not just a clever name. It's actually about a bus.
Yeah.
It's not just a clever name.
The Big Bus.
The Big Bus. Just when you thought you could get out of the way, there was the big bus. Bum,
Does
bum,
the van
bum.
wear a cape and fly? No, the van is like super souped up, futuristic.
Can
It
you-
even had a TV in it, which was like, whoa, a van has a TV. Wow.
Is there a trailer out there for that? We need to pull a trailer for
Super
that.
van? I think I
Super
can
van.
pull up a trailer real
We
quick.
need a trailer.
Hang on. I
And
think
then
I can
what we'll
do
do is we'll show the trailer, and then everybody needs to go watch Supervan. And then next time we all talk, it'll be solely about Supervan. That's it. Just
See.
Supervan.
The whole movie's on YouTube, by the way, guys.
I think it's on Prime too. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. So here it is. I'm going to share my screen. Let me go in and do that real quick.
All right.
And then we'll watch the Supervan application window. Where is it? Chrome tab.
I just
Here we
work
go.
here.
Is it showing yet? Do you guys see it? Let's see. Do you see it, Charles?
I mean, I see stuff.
Okay. Let me make it. Let me full
Make
screen.
sure to blur out all your dirty movies too.
Oh, that's fine. They can see what I got.
Gotta crank it. I don't know. We can't hear it though. I'll do the commentary for it. Just when you
Go
guys
ahead.
thought, welcome, Vanners. Here he comes in the black van called Van Zam. Hi, girl. I'm Dirty Shirt Boy. Oh, doctor. This is
Here
gonna
it
be a
is.
new age van. If you thought you weren't ready, here it is. Dun dun dun. I could get this shaggin' wagon out on the road. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Down the road, got my van and got my van. Down, 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 down. Turn the crank up. A-track time. Boom. Watch out to your left. It's the guy with the gray poupon. Da, da, da. No, I don't have any gray poupon. I keep telling you this. Doom, doom, doom. They took my car.
I think it had lasers too.
Look at that sweet van, George. Super van. Bum 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 bum.
I'd rather be riding high in my super van.
Oh my God! It's a 1966 Super van, George Bear's custom.
So that was the
Did somebody
famous
actually owned the
car
Super van?
designer. Yeah, somebody actually found it in a junkyard or something.
They bought it for $23.
You guys are probably like, how does Lloyd know so much about Supervan?
Lloyd
I was
knows-
obsessed with this as a kid. It was one of those movies that my mom took me to at the drive-in, and I was like,
Oh my God! Was there Super vans there at the drive-in?
well, no, there were probably those vans with the big murals on the side, the fantasy murals, and
Lloyd,
like some guy with the big,
you're missing your calling. You need a sweet van like this for Frightmare. You need a sweet Frightmare van to park out front, and it's gonna be like the Frightmare logo, but it'd be like you shirtless, like this.
Here, I'm going to take this screen down. Supervan.
I'm not gonna be happy until I see you riding around in a big old super van.
That's a little glimpse into my brain, guys, because as a kid, I saw that movie and I couldn't forget it. Somewhere around here, I still have like a matchbox of that van that I had as a kid, and I just loved it. I thought that movie was the greatest, and I went back and watched it. Oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's terrible. It's just a terrible movie.
It didn't hold up to the test of time.
It did not. But if anybody's interested, you guys should go
All right.
On YouTube, and the whole movie is there. You can just watch it.
So double feature for everybody. Cannonball Run. Then take a shower because you're going to be real hot after watching Cannonball Run. After your shower, Supervan. Then you're going to be tired. You're going to go right to bed.
You're going to be worn out. Your
out.
brain's going to hurt really
Your brain's
bad.
going to hurt. Then you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, God, my life was not complete until that double feature. Then you're going to thank Lloyd and I for doing this.
I think the moment that blew your mind when you're watching the movie is when there's like a TV in the van and you're like, what? They have a television in a van?
In
Oh
a van?
God.
What is this? The year 2000? I think not. It's now.
This will never come to fruition. There'll never be a car with a television.
The television. What are you gonna watch in there? The news. Sorry.
And what's great about back then, I do remember when they finally, like, those custom vans finally had TVs in them.
Uh-huh.
And if you had an antenna on it, you can't watch a TV show with an antenna while you're going down the road because the signal is always changing, you know.
So you gotta pull over so you can watch your. What would have been out then? What came out in the 70s? I don't know, 70s TV show, something.
Yeah, well,
Greatest American Hero.
right. And then they finally VCRs became cheap enough, and I remember they started putting VCRs in there so you could actually watch something.
I think you need to build the ultimate van, Lloyd. It needs to have VCRs in it. It needs to have TVs from the 70s, the full shebang.
I want a Star Wars mural on the side, though.
No,
with
it's got to be you.
Luke Skywalker all ripped up and.
No, well, it can be Luke Skywalker, but it has to have your face. Like, it has to be you. Like, all, like, seductive.
I think I would look better on Chewbacca's body. Oh, man.
I don't know anymore.
Super van.
We went into a whole vansploitation problem. Now we've just, I don't know what we're doing. We've lost our minds.
Look, guys, everybody has homework now. Go watch Supervan. Let us know what you think about it.
And rewatch Cannonball Run, because if you haven't watched it, then you have a problem in your life. Your life hasn't been filled till you've experienced Cannonball Run. Not only Cannonball Run, Cannonball 1 and 2. You need them both. It's double feature.
Wasn't there a part 3 that was terrible, or was part 2 the one that was terrible?
Part 2 was really bad. I don't think there was a. No, I think there was. I think so. Cannonball Run 3 technically existed, but I think it was called something else. It was called like Speed Zone, something like that. Like it had a different name. I kid you not.
We have gone way off the rails today, Charles. I don't know what happened, and I swear to you guys, we weren't talking about this before the show or anything. It just came up.
How did we even get to this point? What happened?
I don't know.
I think it was my fault for bringing up Cannonball Run. Oh, I started with Dom DeLuise. That's where we started.
Oh, that's where Dom DeLuise.
Dom
DeLuise always leads to vansploitation.
Yeah, it's a segue. You go from Dom to Cannonball Run. Cannonball Run always leads to vansploitation. It's a tricky. It's a very slippery road. You can't walk out of it. Chart.
All right, guys. Well, I think. Do you have anything else, Charles? Because I think we're boring.
I'm not going to say anything else because there's no telling what it'll lead to. So.
Okay.
We'll be here till like 9:00 tonight, just all sweaty talking about ridiculous movies.
So remember that the next thing that we're going to do, that we definitely are going to do, is Saturday, May 9th. We're going to do the Twitch Amazon Prime watch party. So keep your eyes out for that. Charles and I will get the logistics set up, and we'll decide what time we're going to do it. We'll probably do another live stream Saturday at 2 as well, but we'll announce all of that. We may do something Wednesday also, but we don't have it all.
Wednesday about vansploitation. We're going to keep this going.
The vansploitation episode. Well, you have to have grown up in the 70s to totally dig it, man.
I don't know. I didn't grow up in the 70s, but you know what? I dig it. I can dig it. Can you dig it, Lloyd?
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and sign out now. Thank y'all for joining us this weekend. It means a whole bunch to me that we've had so many viewers over the weekend checking us out, and we appreciate that. I know Charles feels the same way too. So thank you very much. This is Frightmare HQ signing off. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we're gonna
take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch Cannonball Run.
Don't forget.